Hello everyone, welcome back to all of you in the Smelly Army. So today we're going to be having a look at my top 5 fragrances to wear in the office. Alternatives perhaps, if you like, to Fragrance One's Office for Men, the famous fragrance from Jeremy Fragrance. Speaking of the office, actually I recently had a job interview, so still waiting to hear back. Fingers crossed for me there, guys. I think the interview went quite well. I answered most of the questions, I think, successfully, until it came to the last one. He said to me, "Tell me, what do you think is your worst quality?" So I said, well, I think sometimes I can be a bit too honest. And he said, well, that could be a good quality. In this organisation, we really value honesty. I said, well, I don't really care what you think. Okay, hello everyone, welcome back. Yes, today we're talking about office fragrances, alternatives if you like to Jeremy Fragrance's Office for Men. So of course in the office we all want to smell fresh and presentable. Jeremy claims his fragrance is the ultimate fragrance of all time for that, the only one you need. I'm going to give you some alternatives. All of the fragrances in this video can be bought at Notino UK, who are the sponsors of the video, and there are links in the description to check them all out over at Notino UK. I really do recommend them. Some of the prices they have, the discounts and stuff, are incredible there. I've been shopping there for years, so check them out. If you're not in the UK, you may have a Notino where you are, or if not, I'm sure you will find these fragrances still of interest. Okay, so let's get stuck into my list. So of course Jeremy says his fragrance one is the one you need for the office. I do have a sample. It's very nice, it's quite good, but it's not amazing. Has a kind of fresh, zingy, modern vibe, a little bit generic, but quite good, performs well, all that kind of stuff. My 5 fragrances then, these are all going to be fragrances for the modern man. If you watch my channel, you know I quite like vintage retro fragrances sometimes, but that's not all I like. And in this video I'm focusing on ones that can be worn by everybody, don't have a dated or retro feel, but maybe potentially a modern, contemporary, or at least timeless kind of feel. And what do we want in the office? In my humble opinion, there's every case for saying you shouldn't even wear a fragrance in the office, to be quite honest. It could be quite annoying if you're sat next to someone all the time who really stinks of strong fragrances. But if you do want to give off a nice little well-presented, clean aura, if you're a fragrance fan like me, you probably want to wear something most days just to give yourself that little lift in life. I think you're looking for something fresh, crisp, masculine smelling, but not overly strong performing, and with a nice professional kind of vibe about it. So that's what I've gone for here. Nothing too playful or overtly sexy, probably nothing too sweet or seductive, in my humble opinion. So let's get stuck into my list. Number 5 then, I'm going for Creed's Himalaya. Now Jeremy Fragrance's Office for Men, I think that one is €160 for a 100ml bottle. This one on Notino at the moment is €155 at the time of filming. £155 I mean, for a 100ml bottle. That is stunning value for a really well regarded niche fragrance from 2002. An underrated gem from the house of Creed. We all talk about Aventus, Green Irish Tweed. Himalaya has notes including grapefruit, bergamot and lemon, a lovely zesty bright opening. And then we've got musk, ambergris and cedarwood amongst the other notes. So a really all-round high quality, fresh, citrusy, woody type of fragrance. It has a little bit of the Creed classic ambergris, and this, in keeping with the bottle design there, a slightly sort of almost metallic air, not in a bad way, but giving that kind of, therefore for me, a slightly professional, let's get on with it kind of vibe. And I really like that about this fragrance. So a lovely underrated one from Creed, and it is a great price at the moment on that, and I would definitely favour that over Office for Men by Jeremy Fragrance for me. It's more classy, isn't it? The bottle, the name Himalaya. It's a classy fragrance to wear to work, but it's not inappropriate at work in my opinion. Just to let you know, I will be doing a follow-up to this video with 5 extra fragrances, and they're going to be slightly more gentlemanly, old school fragrances that you might like to wear to the office. That's going to be exclusively in my Patreon group. You can join up by following the link in the description below, and it's only $2 a month, for which you get an extra Mr. Smelly video every week and more. I'd love to see you in there. Moving on then, next up we've got a real classic in the Fragcom. I think it's maybe discontinued in production terms, but you can still buy this one, and this is Allure Homme Edition Blanche from the House of Chanel, often described as smelling like a lemon meringue pie type of vibe. It certainly has a very prominent citrusy lemon note in there. Some aldehydes giving it this fizzy, effervescent kind of quality, and a certain vanillic sweetness and tonka in the base. It really is a beautiful fragrance. The performance is good but not in your face, and it smells fresh, it smells clean. It smells a little bit interesting. It smells very classy, as all Chanel fragrances do. It's getting harder to find, and so the prices are not super cheap, but I think the 150ml bottle that you can get on Notino was up for a really good price, I think, per mil. And Allure Edition Blanche, it's not, I'm not going to say Bleu de Chanel because every Tom, Dick and Harry wears that. This one is a little bit more different, but it's beautiful. So that I think would be a great choice. Professional, crisp, clean, delightful scent, and perfect to wear every day, I think, at the office. Next up then, I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball because I'm going to cheat. Anything from the Dunhill Icon line of fragrances. I think I've got them all here. I think there's 4. So we've got the original Icon, Icon Absolute, lovely bottle designs. We have Icon Elite, and we also have Icon Racing, the 2017 release. All of these are superb, crisp, masculine, fresh, sort of fresh in most cases, fragrances. Dunhill Icon, the original one, beautiful bergamot, juniper, lavender, woods, ISO-y, super, a bit like Terre d'Hermès but a bit more fresh. Superb choice, one of my favourites ever from a designer house. The Absolute version, a little bit more of a winter sort of fragrance, but I still think, because it's known for not having amazing performance, you could get away with a few sprays of this in the office if you don't just want to smell fresh and citrusy. It's got oud, it's got a dark woodiness about it, and it's in fitting with that bottle. It's a high class juice. The next release in that line was Icon Elite. Some people said it was underwhelming. I've been getting to know it more and more, and it really is a lovely mixture of spiciness and freshness and a little undercurrent of sweetness. Beautiful stuff actually, and just a more modern smelling fragrance perhaps than the other two. A kind of zesty feel about it, a little bit maybe similar to some other generic kind of designer stuff, but a little bit higher quality than a lot of the other scents from the bigger well-known fragrance houses, and a good option actually if you don't just want the citrus freshies again. The last one in the line then, Icon Racing. It was going to be called Racing Green originally, I think, and you can see it has a lovely colour on the bottle. Not coming up that well on the camera at the moment, that colour, but yeah, Racing Green, the British racing team's colour in car racing. Bit more of a zingy Ambroxan type of vibe. Some people have compared this, I think, to Invictus Aqua from Paco Rabanne, but it's a more classy version of that, and it just comes off really fresh, clean. This one has that zingy, modern, fresh, woody vibe that's kind of shared with the Jeremy Fragrance one, but I actually prefer this one. And prices on all of the Icon line on Notino are really stunning. It's one of the best value ranges out there. I love that stuff. So you could wear those to the office and you would smell great every day and thoroughly professional. So on to the penultimate one. I think it's number 2, and this is going to be Lorenzo Villoresi Uomo. This is a superb citrus aromatic spicy type of fragrance. It was first released way back, I think, in 1994. It has maybe a hint of a retro vibe, but not enough to smell dated. It's definitely great for a modern man of any age. It's got a lovely herbaceous spiciness. It's got beautiful citrus opening notes and a crisp masculine kind of woody undertone in the base. A hint of that Mediterranean chic, a clean, crisp and well presented type of fragrance with a beautiful bottle design. Villoresi Uomo, a little bit more expensive, niche fragrance, but well worth the money in my opinion. I've got a lovely 50ml bottle with a big dent in it. I think you can just get the 100ml one on Notino at the moment, but it could be worth spending that extra cash for a really unique fragrance that not many other people will be wearing. I think you'd come across great if that was your daily office scent. Last but not least then, a new favourite for me from the Acqua di Parma line, and a new acquisition, or relatively recent, is Acqua di Parma's Colonia Pura. So this one, of course, I think the most recent release in the Colonia line from Acqua di Parma, and whereas the older Colonias have a slightly retro vibe about them in many cases, with lavender and oak moss, which can, I love them, but they can smell a little bit stuffy and old-fashioned maybe for some tastes. Pura really retains the beautiful citrus of the standard Colonia and some of its other flankers, but it has a more modern feel. There are some crisp aquatic notes in there, and there is a lovely slightly sweet floral jasmine note that I really enjoy in this one, which makes it just a totally all-round great choice. I put it in a summer list too, but there's no reason you couldn't wear this all round in the office. It's got that really crisp with a white shirt kind of feel that is very, very appealing, not in your face, not overly overtly seductive. It performs well, but it creates a kind of intimate aura near you that people might just get a subtle waft of, which is all that you want at work. You don't want, I don't think, any more than that. So Pura for me, the number one. If I really just had to pick one fragrance only, gun to the head at the moment, didn't want to offend anyone but wanted to smell classy, I would go with Acqua di Parma Colonia Pura. I think it's around about the 80 something mark for the 100ml bottle on Notino. I think that is excellent value, and that was one that I chose to get free for doing the sponsored video for those guys. So let me know what you think is the ultimate office fragrance. Comment down below. Do remember to check these out on Notino in the UK. Thank you ever so much for joining me. We'll see you in the next video. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. Bye bye.